Are you?
Hey Gordon, you didn't think to go into my office and get my phone, did you?
Huh? I
You
did.
didn't think to go into my office, did you?
Morning. What time is it? Good morning.
Hey, how are you?
Good to see you.
What's up, Charles?
Hey, what's up?
I still haven't set that meeting up, but there's no crew down there. I need to go and set it up before it gets too late. What's up, Devon?
How are you?
Well, yourself?
Okay.
Well, so what's your opinion about this?
I'm opposed to it. I feel that if she wanted to use the N-word if she wanted to use a quote of Morrison to spark conversation on racism, then she should have used a direct quote of Morrison, who not only did disavow this word, but she also spoke very clearly about her position on racism. But I believe the reason why they would not post that is because they're cowards. They know that using one of her direct quotes would offend the very people who fund them.
Absolutely.
And so talking about this intersectionality bullshit is what has set the civil rights movement behind. This is a black issue that needs to be discussed. The fact that the word nigger has been a weaponry against the black community through our entire history. For this new way of thinking to think that this word is acceptable in any form undermines all the work that those of us have worked to bury this word. So if you want to quote Toni Morrison and use a quote of hers to complement this exhibit for whatever reason you feel necessary, then use one of her direct quotes about racism and how we must get rid of words like this because they're used as weapons against the communities. And she talked very clearly. I even posted some that people have taken down. She was very clear about her position of words like this. This word does not serve any artistic value. In a kind of conversation it has invoked, it's type of conversation it invokes. You cannot use this word to spark conversations and then run behind or hide or cower down because it invokes the type of conversation this word invokes. This word invokes the type of conversations you see on Facebook. That's why those of us who are responsible community members do not want it displayed on a window in North Omaha because it does bring out black people fighting against each other when we find those who are in support of this word.
Yeah, and that's what I explained to Channel 7 yesterday morning when they interviewed me here. I happened to come up and take a picture of this when they took the woman's letter down. And
it was my letter that took
that.
okay,
Yeah.
and I signed that letter and said I co-signed it. My name's Ron Clark, and so I came back up here yesterday morning and I interviewed with Channel 7, and I told them exactly what you said. And there's no use for that word, and they could have used any other quote from Toni Morrison.
She has over 100 quotes. If you Google her,
Right.
she has over 100 quotes about racism.
Right.
If you wanna use one of her quotes to invoke a conversational racism, use one of her direct quotes, not one of her works of fiction.
Right.
But what you do is you don't want to come to terms with what she really said about racism. And all this intersectionality bullshit is just what it is. It's bullshit.
Yep,
The fact of the matter is that this community has been brutalized by that word, and there is absolutely no way that you can cross-reference other issues on this one. No other community, no other group, no other demographic has had a word used against them the way nigger has been used against black people.
And what I told the guys at Channel 7, I said, well, let's switch it around. What if it was a black owner of a gallery?
It is a black gallery.
A black woman does not own this gallery.
Right. She does
She
not.
is the
Sherwood
executive,
Foundation
she is the
owns
executive
this.
director
That's
who
right.
made a decision.
She owns the entire
outside-
building.
This black
So
woman
you're
is
saying
an
that the Sherwood
executive
Foundation
director.
found
And I said
is the
they,
It's a
reason why
director.
this is
they
here?
made a poor
Is a
decision.
director
Yes.
who made a decision
There's
without
people who
consulting,
donated to
without
this.
consulting with her
Is
board,
why this
without
is here.
consulting with her
Black women
board.
artists is
And
why
if you
this
go
is
to
here.
Philadelphia
As well
and you
as
were to look
the
at
black
Miss
executive director
German,
of
if
this
you were to
building.
look at Miss German's
two
work
black
in
women
other
made the
cities,
decision
you
for
don't
this.
see this.
Sherwood
Right.
Foundation.
But no, Gwen, the issue is this.
Right.
If you were to go
People
to
have been a part of that
Philadelphia
entire
and if you were to see Miss German's work, you don't see this mess in
Right.
Philadelphia. You don't see this mess. When you go to her galleries in Philadelphia, and she does use words and imagery, but she has words of healing, words of hope. She doesn't have divisive words like this. And what they should have done is consulted with people in this community before they put this word up here.
That's right.
And
And I'm not
It's
going to
gonna give
allow
other people
anybody.
the idea that they can go and post
exactly,
with
all
this
you
type
did
of
was
stuff
give
up.
a green light to
Yes.
racists to use this word again under
Under
the guise of
art.
provoking
Yes.
conversations
Right.
or
They
invoking
never stop.
conversations. And the thing about it is
Let's
that
be real. They never stop using
You know, I
this
just
word.
want to say
Yes.
something. Also, you know, my name is Stephen Abraham.
Oh.
If individuals don't know who I am, I just want to say that I agree with what LaVon is saying.
I do too.
You know, this needs to be
Absolutely.
brought to the
One of my
attention of the
stickers,
community.
one of my signs that one right there.
If anything, there should have been a survey that was given to the community to see if they agreed that this artistic
one?
expression was acceptable in the community.
Absolutely.
When I reached out to the executive director, she agreed to a meeting this morning. So I'm hopeful that we could come to a resolution to this issue. And also I want to make it clear that in no way that this is to promote any type of violence or vandalism.
No.
Right.
Because individuals have their own personality and character. And she said herself that she wanted to start a conversation. Well, you can't control the narrative of the conversation that this sparks, because this has been a traumatic word for African Americans for hundreds and hundreds of years. And so
when you
And she
speak,
should know better than.
when you speak
she
to
should
her,
know
ask
better
her
than
this: would she have used a derogatory word towards like Jewish people or another race of people?
Or LGBTQ.
Would they
Or would
have
she
used
Why
that?
would she have put this mess out west?
Yeah.
No, she would not
No,
have.
absolutely not.
She
And
would
that's
not
what
have.
that's
The
what I
thing
told
about this,
Channel
has she
7.
been
I
an
told her
executive
that.
director of a white organization, the Durham Museum or Jocelyn, and she put this mess up, she would have been fired the next day
Yep.
because her board did not
They would've
approve her
closed them down.
of doing this. And what they
wouldn't have
do is,
approved of anything that
they
she's
use
she's a
words.
black woman in
They
that
allow
space.
people in this community to do their dirty work. And that's what she's doing, because nobody else would have gotten away with this. And they
Right.
think it's because a black woman was the director. They think because a black woman was the artist that this is acceptable. No,
No, it's
our
not.
history is replete with black people who have not been supportive or in the best
Absolutely.
interest of our black communities.
Absolutely.
and also
And I explained that
yeah,
to them.
You
also
accept the word. You
Yeah.
accept the word. I've been a nigga all my life. If you accept the word, then that's what you are. Don't accept it. Don't accept it. Are you ignorant? Are you being ignorant right now? No, you're not. You see what I'm saying? So you're not a part of that. You're not a part of that.
And also, I want to make it clear that the news media outlets, they also censorship that word. So, you know, I consider the media to be a form of
If they
art.
call you a nigger, then you know where they coming
So
from.
if the media is not allowing that word to be displayed
I've been a
on their
nigga all
news
my life,
outlets,
not
then it
some
shouldn't
of
be
it,
displayed
all
in
my
public.
life. Let 'em call you a
So
nigga.
that I just wanted to make that point, because, like I said, the news outlets, their job is to bring awareness to the community.
In no other community would it be acceptable
That's
to
exactly
display
what I-
this
that's
word.
exactly what I
Like,
said to
What
them.
it
why can't we be offended about being offended? Why is it a problem for us to have offense to this being displayed in our community? It makes no sense.
He didn't accept it.
Why do we gotta feel wronged
Or
and
even the
attacked
double-
for
the
even
double
having
standards
offense
that apply.
towards the word?
This is the thing. This is the thing. Okay.
It makes no
Okay.
sense.
This is the thing right here. Okay. So, Rachel, you know what I'm saying? But don't tear.
But you're missing a point. Nobody's tearing anybody down. That is their shortcomings. No, you're missing the whole point, and that's how this has been framed. Nobody's attacking the exhibit. Nobody's attacking the director, and nobody's attacking the artist. We're attacking the word.
Well, I was witness when they were putting these words up. And the crew that put these words up was an all-white crew. And I told Channel 7, I said, I don't think a black contractor would have taken this job if they would have seen that word up there. They wouldn't have put that up there.
I would have.
I wouldn't have put it up there because
I
know what it would have
There are plenty of
caused.
people in this community that would have, because they understand what conversation this is sparking. They also understand
Yeah.
art.
Yeah, go.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm saying I
Our
disagree.
conversation with this word somewhere else,
discuss this, you know.
not in this community.
I'm happy to have a conversation with you.
It's like that.
Now the conversation is being had. So what's your issue now?
I disagree.
Disagree with the conversation that you sparked, that you are okay with sparking a hold on. That makes no sense, sis. How you gonna say you want a conversation to happen? The conversation happens, and now you don't like the conversation. Now that's hypocritical. If define hypocritical, no, because you said what you said. You interrupted everybody else when they speak, so I'm gonna interrupt you when you speak. No, there you go. There you go.
I said that I
Remember, more.
no. What I said was that
Hey,
I believe
Steven.
that this is an
Hold
important
on,
conversation
Steven.
to have. What I disagree with is their views in that conversation.
You
But
can't
that's why
disagree with people's views just like we can't disagree with art.
You can
Right?
definitely
That's
disagree with
hypocritical.
opinions.
That's hypocritical.
This is
That's
absolute.
hypocritical, sis. That's hypocritical.
But
You
so
said,
them
let's start a
disagreeing with
conversation.
all these things
Let's
is
start a
hypocritical.
conversation.
Exactly what I'm saying right here is that they're going to use this art under the guise of art to be okay with using this word. If we allow this to stay in this community, they'll do it in other communities and they'll think it's okay. It's not okay.
I need to process.
It's not okay.
And every other form of media. This word
When we see it on buildings, we've seen it on buildings now. We have seen this on buildings. We've seen this on buildings. We have seen this on houses.
all of these other spaces
If I was to say,
is not okay.
We've seen
But
this on houses.
if I was to sit
Spray
here
painted on
and play
houses
rap music
to be
that
negative
said the
towards
word,
black
it
people.
would be
And you
deemed
think it's
offensive by
okay
a lot
for
of
it to be
people.
here in
So
this
why can't we
community?
take offense to
I
it?
think that you're hyper-focusing on one
Only
word
comment
rather
y'all
than
should
the
be
entirety
making
of the.
is that
Have you
this is
actually
Morgan
seen
Freeman,
the
and she's running for
exhibit?
Congress.
Okay.
This is the person who wants to
Check this
represent
out
this
right here.
district.
I don't need to go in here.
If you
I know
over
what
in
this is all
Japan-
about.
How would you understand
From the day
what
that
this
they
is
put
about
this,
if you
from the
don't
day that they put
If
this
you
here.
over in Japan and you
The day
ask
that they
them
put this
know
what
the
in
entire
this
passage
community
will tell you
was
about
a problem in the first
Choose
place.
a different
Can
passage.
hold on. If you over in Japan
And you definitely
and
will
you
not
ask
get
them
my
what
vote
do they
for
call
Congress. You're not
black
gonna
people over in Japan, they gonna tell you
Are
you a
you
nigga
serious?
over there, so you a nigga over here.
Like,
So
for example,
what
like
we gonna
Jewish
do? We gonna
people
get
wouldn't
sunk
put up
on a
a
damn
derogatory
word.
term
You gonna
of
get sunk on a
themselves
word?
just to promote a piece of art.
I mean,
Do we gotta accept
But
that?
they don't
Exactly.
say we already know we not niggas.
Like
We
literally,
already know
all
that.
other
But the
marginalized
point
communities
is, it
have
does
these
not need to be
conversations.
displayed.
Like with the
This word has
LGBTQI
hurt a lot of
community,
people
with
regardless.
the LGBTQI community, we
Okay.
have
So,
conversations
here's my
about
question.
words that are
Here's my
said.
question. Here's my question.
No, they have
In a
the
Jewish
right.
in a Jewish
With the
community,
network fact,
if I
they
hung up a
have
display
all these
under the
other
guise of art
opportunities
that
to
said
have
Then
Hail
take it
Hitler,
to somebody
I was
else's
wrong.
community
Honestly,
and
I
do
would.
this
I
stuff.
couldn't say it's
Don't
art.
bring it to North
So don't-
Omaha.
So don't demean us for being offended by this
We're
word.
the-
So you don't like
Look,
that
it shouldn't be displayed nowhere in the United States of America.
What about Japan? Because they do it over in Japan too.
But you know what? You right, but she acts like she
Don't
can't hear.
accept the word. Don't accept it. Don't live it.
This is not something that should ever be accepted in the United States of America, period. I don't care where we come from, what
Just
community
don't
you
live
coming
it. Don't
from.
live it. Don't live it. Don't live it.
Like that it's
Don't live
displayed
it.
on a
But here's my
exhibit
valid-
in
but
an
here's
art
my valid
institution.
If we were in a Jewish community,
You don't
and
like
I
that it's
hung
on
up
the
a
block,
display
you don't like
under
that
the
it's
guise of
visibly
art,
displayed,
and it had anything
but
to do with Hitler,
we're not
then
having
we
the
would
same
not.
conversation in all the other spaces that this word is
Because we
normalize.
So why
like
can't we be
music,
offended?
like
Why
our
can't we?
like music.
She can have her opinion. It don't make it
It's
right.
the same word.
It doesn't make it
It is literally the same.
Two different words, ma'am.
It's
See,
Like
you
the
shouldn't
Lord said,
run to represent us if you,
that she
ma'am.
directly
You
said
shouldn't
it
run to
instead of
represent us if you don't understand us. We don't use the word nigger.
I don't care how
We don't
you
use that.
sugarcoat it.
It's not about being right.
Two different words.
It's a written word.
At the end of the day,
But
when
answer
we're
my
talking
question.
about the
Can
context
anybody
of this
answer my
conversation
question?
as well as
In
the
a Jewish
exhibits,
community, if I had
it's
some
using
artwork,
that word
but
for
y'all
one,
can't speak for us. That's
calling
point.
out
We
the way
are
that it's
offended
been
by this.
used
Y'all
throughout
can't speak
our
for us.
history as
That's
Black
the point.
people. And for two, it's calling
said
out
it's wrong.
the fact that we need to have that conversation about not
We
just
don't want it up.
what it means
We
for
don't want it up.
nigga
The
and
definition-
nigger to be used within cultural
definition-
context, but
I have
also
no
why
problem
are we
with
not
art.
having those
The
conversations within our
definition
communities
of
about like,
nigger
how
is
we
what
don't talk about it? I know
what's
we talk
happening
about
right
it, but we
now.
don't have that greater conversation.
Okay, the definition of nigger is what's happening right now.
We're actually
We
quite
have to
past
sit
that.
down.
We're not talking about damage to Black bodies anymore. Now we're talking about Black empowerment. Black people have moved past being abused. We've moved past
You
that.
don't have to accept it. You don't have to accept it. You got your opinion.
Where there are threats against Black women.
And they did not. They said, no, we have a certain group that we're working with and things like that. So don't tell me
In
the
regards to
window.
this
Don't
lady,
pick and choose.
They threatened the window. They threatened the window.
Yeah, that's why the always on
They threatened to break the window.
Okay.
Never that one. I see that.
Okay.
I did see that.
I literally have seen the screenshots, but that's cute.
So we can't be offended.
All right.
It's not true. And Black people are past living through abuse and slavery and learning that.
What did you say? What did you just say?
That's why nowadays you hear
He said, I mean, it's not a threat.
king, brother, or sister. We're not past niggas.
Okay, then
I'm
what's
not threatened by. I'm a
We don't
opinion
need
writer.
this.
okay?
You know, and that's the conversation that we're having nowadays. Our conversation doesn't matter that.
That's all I'm saying.
Wait. Let's Terrell get his point out. Let Terrell get his question out, and then we'll go back.
You can have this in the gallery. I understand it's art, but it should not be displayed outside in our community. Why should we be slandered and demeaned because we have offense to this? It makes no sense. In any other community, you cannot display offensive word and get away with it publicly.
And that's a
That's
fact.
all I want to say.
And
You
that's
want
a
to put it
fact.
under the guise of art. I mean,
Who will respond?
Senator Chambers, do you have something to say since you're here?
Oh, yes, sir.
This word is an infuriating word, so those of us who are opposed to it will have to keep our cool today because we're not down here to physically do anything today.
that's true.
But in other communities, they remove things that are not of value to them.
Absolutely.
This building has been down here for decades. It was in disrepair. I understand that Susie Buffett has decided to do something with it, and they're buying up property throughout the community. Well, she and nobody else is going to come down and put this in our face. Of all the things that Toni Morrison wrote, they picked something like this. Well, that would be like me saying, I want to go down to the Jocelyn and take from some of the great Southern writers like Faulkner and, well, there are bunches of them who wrote these things, but I don't want to mention all their names because you might go read their books, who use the term white trash. And I say, I want white trash put up there so that we can start a discussion. What is there to discuss about this word? I have brought a few copies of work that I did that resulted in a judge being suspended for using that N-word in the courtroom. He tried to justify it and say he didn't mean what it really means, but it came out of his mouth and he knew what he was saying. He said what he meant and he thought he'd get away with it. But a woman who was in the courtroom, who he probably thought would have been on his side, told me, and I got a transcript of it, and he had told a white man that you put yourself in a position to be treated like an N and you have to eat crap like black people have done it down through the years. And he was suspended for it. If we tolerate this, they're going to do it to us. This window should not be there. They are trying to convert this into a plantation.
That's right.
And
Come on.
Susie Buffett,
I agree with you.
Warren
I'm right
Buffett,
along with you.
Mayor Stoddard, and nobody else is going to do that. But while I mention the mayor's name, she is doing the right thing in that case where a firefighter made 4 sexually charged come-ons to a black woman, then punched her, knocked her over the bar. He was thrown out of the bar, and the white firefighters union, of which he is the president, tried to have criminal charges filed against the mayor for witness tampering. They fired him, the chief, and the mayor agreed. An arbitrator was brought here, and she said that he should get his job back. Punching a black woman is not too bad for a firefighter if she's black. Saying that if I was not married, I'd take you in the bathroom. Firefighter said that's not enough to fire him. So he made these 4 sexually charged comments, then whispered the words white power to her while he was doing it, and these racists in the fire department want to say through their lawyer that what he meant by white power was how well the black and white people were getting along in that bar after he just got through insulting this black woman. It shows that they think we are ignorant, that we are foolish. So if they don't take it down, we need to have demonstrations, and I will carry a sign in their building. And if they want to throw me out, let them try. I hope they do. But there are black people who I think I can persuade, based on my 46 years in the legislature, that I care about this community. I make $12,000 a year before taxes. I go down there every day. We're not in session, but I still go down there every day so people can find me with problems that nobody else will deal with. And if I have to focus on what is happening in this city, I see some of my black brothers and sisters who understand what I'm talking about. We have worked decades to try to uplift our community, and we are not going to let a white woman come here and turn it into her personal plantation, and we are her personal slaves.
That's right.
Now I can be quoted, and Susie knows.
It was the other way around, and it was a black man did that to a white woman. What do you think would have happened?
By plantation, a plantation.
I used to write this brother every week.
A plantation.
We talk every week.
I was asked to make a comment about the plantation.
In context of the union,
A plantation is where black people and white people lived together, but their status was not the same. The white people ruled and the black people served. If there were an alien who came from another planet and he saw black people and white people here together, he would feel that they must get along, and it would be impossible for him or her or it to understand that one of these groups was on top of the other, the one below was reduced to the level of a subhuman, was mistreated physically, sexually, and every other way. So although the black people and the white people were in the same location on the plantation, their status was different. So when these white people come out here, if they show respect for us and what we are trying to do, they are well respect. But when they come down here with this trash and take the worst word, it is a horrible word. It is an insulting word. It is a fighting word, and sometimes it is a killing word, and they're going to put it right in our face. And they have to know that I will do everything I can in and out of the legislature to deal with it. And I will spend much time on the floor of the legislature discussing with Susie Buffett, these white people that she brought down here with her, the plantation hands who are working with them, saying what they've been told to say because they need something. They want something. They can get it without selling their soul. And now that you all have been courteous enough, respectful enough to allow me to speak, I want to thank you all for this opportunity. And that will be all I will say this morning. And I will have to go to Lincoln, but
I got one
I'm going to give place these in the hands
This is
of
brother Naeem.
Robert.
I got one
and he
question.
can distribute them to whom
Everybody that's here right now, if they take that word down right now, you still gonna have it in your mind. If you don't live it, you won't be it.
Ask yourself this question.
Can
black people go
Let's
in their
leave.
neighborhood
Let's
work
Thank you,
and do the
Ernie.
exact
Thank you.
same
We
thing
appreciate
that they
you.
did in our neighborhood and get away with it? I don't think so.
So I think it's fair to separate the intention of the executive director. I think my problem with what you guys are saying is not against the word.
Hold on. We
I don't.
respectfully listened. Please give him the space.
Those of you who
I-
are here
it's-
to
yeah.
oppose it, Senator Chambers should have had the last word, and so we can move.
Okay, then leave
So-
already.
So,
All right, then bye.
So I'm not against you guys. I'm not against your point about the word. I am against the way you guys are tarnishing the character of the executive director, right? So like I think you guys are stretching it a bit too far by saying plantation being misused, being a slave and all that nonsense. I think that's the problem, right? It's okay that you have your strong opinion against that word. I don't like the word either. But when you stretch it and then start adding those other things to that person and assuming their intent or assuming that they're being misused or being played or puppet in some type of way, that's offensive.
We're not that.
Okay. Have you guys? How many of you
right,
guys
but
have
that's
seen
how-
our show?
okay,
How
that's
many?
how it sounds.
Raise your hand, because if you haven't seen our show,
Everybody
you
make
will know
mistakes.
anything about
This
this.
is a mistake. This is a bad decision that she made.
Y'all bringing up
That's
a white
what-
woman.
Okay, wait. Okay, now's my turn. Now's my turn.
Put this
Now's my turn, right? Now's my
It's a
turn.
bad decision because
What do you?
this
oh,
word.
sorry, before that.
My name is Ronald Clark.
Have you seen any?
Have
Vanessa
you even
German's work?
gone into the union before that?
Have you seen the?
Yes.
Have you seen this
Okay.
installation?
Have you seen this exhibit?
Have you heard of Vanessa German?
Have you seen it?
You
Have you
heard
heard
of
of
this?
Vanessa
Why would I
German?
send to go in?
This is Toni Morrison.
I'm sorry, do you say you don't know who Toni Morrison is? Bruh, no, hold on. You just said that you don't know who Toni Morrison is. But you don't even know.
Yes, it's one of her best works.
I'm sorry. Do you not know her works of fiction? She is one of the most powerful.
You're not listening to what
I listened to him,
There
but
is
he
a
cut
point
me
here,
off
and you're
first.
cutting him off.
No, he cut me off
Let
first.
him go.
He cut me off first. You're missing the point. The point is this. This was done in bad taste. They could have used any other quote from the lady.
If you don't understand the context of this, I'm sorry?
Y'all take the flag down.
I don't know why they took the flag down.
What
I don't
flag are we
work
talking
here.
about?
Flag is we talking about?
You talking about the Juneteenth flag?
No,
I'm
the gay
assuming.
pride flag.
I'm sorry, do you have a problem with gay people?
Hey, it's in my community. You didn't ask me if I had a problem before you put it up there.
I'm sorry,
I
do you,
live
do
here
you
all
not
my
realize
life.
that there are gay people in your community?
It ain't about that. It's about
Oh,
the straight people in the
apparently
community
it is.
too. There
Apparently
are
it
straight
is.
people in the community
don't
too.
represent that. People
Duh.
in the community work here.
And this
How
ain't
many
about
in
the gay.
How many people in the
It's
community
about
work
nigger,
here?
lover.
How many in the people in the community
They
work
gonna
here?
put that up there.
I have no
I know you don't. Just like you
Just like I don't know
who
her,
this bitch is.
you don't have any idea.
Just like we don't know
Just like
who
I don't know
that
who
bitch
Toni
is.
Morrison is.
You're
You
telling
don't
me
have
I
any
don't know
idea
my
what
own
he's talking
community?
about. Do you have any idea what he's talking about?
Do you? He is asking me how many of the people
And
in
you
the
don't know,
community
right?
work here because I don't work here, so I can't tell you.
So why you represented if you don't work here?
I'm not representing. I'm presenting a black
I just say you could have left nigger out.
No.
You could have left nigger out and did just like you did right there and put a blank line right there.
You just asked me, why am I standing here in front of you, in front of all y'all people, defending a black woman?
No, we're not damning the black woman.
But you kind of are.
Nigger. See, you trying to misconstrue what we're doing.
No. Hold on.
Just take the nigger out of it.
You were pulling in. You were. No. Hold on.
Leave it up. Take the nigger out.
No. You're talking about a nonprofit.
Ready? Okay, you don't matter.
No. The first part.
You're talking about a black woman
Black
artist.
women can't
No.
make a
I'm
wrong
not done.
decision.
I'm not done.
I'm not done either. She can't make a wrong decision.
This isn't a wrong decision. This
It
is
is. Obviously, it's wrong that everybody out here.
here.
lover and be subjected to that?
You're subject to that in that rest.
We don't see we can't see the rest because you're not nigga up here. Now, all right. Let's bring it down. 2 levels. You want me to smile bring it down. You want me to smile for it? Smile. Go ahead, jangle.
Like we making a big issue.
Watch out.
You're calming for us. That's what I'm looking at.
I'm with my partner.
That's what I'm saying. You calm. That's what I'm looking at. And we doing
got the black pig afro.
Yeah, she got the afro and the black pig.
That's just further showing
situation.
And that's the artist. Not the director. The artist.
I'm not attacking the director. I don't know it.
You can have it all kind of.
I mean, a lot of it don't make sense. And they say nigga.
No, they don't say nigga. They say nigga.
Or rejected.
We say the word every day.
And let me just be clear. We have people out here that don't understand the purpose of art. They don't understand that this is out of context with reference to the whole exhibit. A lot of people haven't even seen the exhibit. And then some of these people don't even know who Toni Morrison is, which is ridiculous in and of itself.
We say nigga.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
That's different.
But and now we have it in an actual context. Chicago.
You from Chicago? And out there they say nigga to each other?
71st and Houston.
And y'all say nigga.
I'm telling you, this is out of a book. Have you read the book? Have you ever seen the exhibit? This is all black work.
But the thing is, why would they choose
So,
this
but the context of your argument. But that's why you need to see the exhibit.
And read the book.
Because you can't judge the context
So
from
if
it.
it was LGBTQ, right?
But
And they
it's
post the
not.
word
It's
fag.
not.
No, I'm just.
But you just said it.
I'm
So should I go off on you because you said it?
I'm trying to give you.
Should I go off on you because you said it? Or are you going to give me context around your
I'm not
word?
going off on you now.
But you're about to give me context around your statement,
I'm
right?
trying to give you a different analogy.
You're trying to give me context to what you said.
Another example,
which is what this does. So that's our point.
So
when you make a point, you have to understand the full context of the argument. So for you to say that word and then try to give me context around it is what this whole exhibit does. So for you to try to judge this from this one piece without getting the context of the artwork, you're doing what you can't prove your argument right now. Does it make sense? You get what I'm saying?
There's context you are disregarding.
That's the point. That's the point.
I feel like you're not trying to take it
Context.
in. Listen to me. Listen
Context.
to me. You guys are not. You keep repeating yourself, but you're not listening.
We do understand. We
No. You're talking
understand.
over me.
If it was
and
just
you're not
arbitrarily
listening.
up on the
You
wall
guys
for
are
no
talking
reason.
No one's
over me.
saying nigger
You
for
guys
no
are
reason.
talking
But
over
there is
me.
context.
The N-word is on the building and you don't like it. Is that the argument? The N-word is on the building and you don't like that it's on the outside.
Black girls gotta walk this block.
Right, yeah.
Walk
So
it
I'm
through
trying to
here.
understand what your argument is that you don't like that the N-word is on the front of the building.
Without
okay,
context.
Okay, cool.
Now,
I get it. So
there is
my
context
response
to
is,
that.
There
That's
is
fine.
context to the
But
whole
my
thing.
problem
Go see it.
So gain the
That's
context.
not a good way.
Now you're
to
disregarding
start-
the context.
That's not a good. Absolutely, and I feel like a
Okay,
lot
so
of
your argument is
people.
moot.
Ma'am, listen. I feel like a lot of
no
people
argument
are
there.
going to have that same type of reaction. This is not a good way to spark conversation. Black people, a lot of black people have moved past this nigger stuff. We don't need to learn anymore. Yes, we have. No, listen.
Have the conversation about
you worried
dismantling
about
systemic oppression.
But you're not letting people.
You're worried about.
You guys are doing a lot of talking over me and don't want to hear nothing I'm saying.
You've been speaking for hours.
You have worried about children passing by here on the street and saying that. Isn't that what you just said?
Because we're talking about yourself. We're talking about black people.
Do you know?
Yes. I just want to make sure.
Are you black?
Yeah, it matters.
Are you black?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Don't I look black?
Don't you look black?
Don't I look black? I'm darker than you.
Let's be real. People go out of their way to be like, well, I'm
The
not
only
black.
people that challenge
black.
black
You see all these
are
other black
people
people
wearing
standing here.
black.
That ain't the point. That ain't the point, y'all.
Yes,
Bring it back.
Am I black?
And the truth about it is,
we all standing
the
with
truth
her.
about it is, a lot of
Don't make
people
it. Don't make it
that's
about
not black
us. Don't make it about us.
cannot come. They can't understand where I'm coming from because they haven't lived what we do understand. When the cops come to us and they tell you that there are pieces of the puzzle, when people are messing with us and they're using that argument that you are people from different
But hold on. Because I think you would appreciate what you're saying. I think you would appreciate the top. I think you would appreciate the art. That's what the art. That's what the piece is about, baby.
And I'm telling you that this ain't the way to get.
But that's what the piece is about.
This is the way to
what
get
you just
people
said.
upset.
But what you just said is what
Then
this
you
is
gotta tell
about.
us, don't be upset, because that's ignorant.
We're not telling. I don't think I told you that.
Don't be upset.
I think
You guys are coming out here trying to defend this director. I don't know that lady.
No, we're defending this building because y'all don't know what this building does for the people in this community.
And this excerpt and this word, this is what
You can feel however you want to feel about her. I'm telling you, the work is in here. What you just said.
That's your opinion.
Your
whole
argument
is backed by the
work
work
inside. When they walk through,
The whole
children
exhibit
come
is
in here
about
and
what you
learn.
just said.
Children express themselves. Children come in here and create beautiful
We got
art.
40 kids coming here today.
Walking in there, you're absolutely sure of that.
There's 40 kids walking in here today.
I've never been in there.
You walk past.
field trip today.
You've never been inside where you up here. And the events that take place here.
Field trip
You have no
today.
idea what you're talking about. You're literally speaking out
I
of
know for a
ignorance.
fact that this is offensive, and I don't want to.
That's true.
That's beautiful.
That's true.
That's fine.
That's true.
That's
true.
fine.
And that's what I'm standing for.
And that's fine.
But there's a lot of stuff we don't want to
That's
see
fine.
that happen. You know what I'm saying?
Shouldn't be
Like,
on our block.
it's here. We say
It's a word on this piece of art. But I also have expressed as a member of this community that is unacceptable, and I feel that that word should be taken down because it was related to traumatic experiences with African Americans. I will be in constant conversations with the executive director to see if we can come to an agreement moving forward. But she plans on removing this piece of art November 30th as planned. Like I said, members of the community are upset, and I understand that there's individuals that are upset, and I understand that there's individuals that are not upset. But we want to bring awareness that this type of wording is not acceptable in the majority of African American community, and we want to bring that to the forefront. So I want everybody to know that I will be in conversations with the executive director, but at this moment she feels that it is appropriate for a sign to be put up to warn individuals about the offensive wording on this piece of art.